This is Dave Tate. I was asked to speak a little bit about our Swiss press bar. So it's winter time here, so it's, as everybody knows, winter time is get fat, get bloated time. So if I'm breathing hard, sorry, it's that time of the year. The first cool thing about this bar is it's, when you're fat and bloated like me, it's awesome to lean on. You know, it gives you the perfect position to rest your lower back. Anyhow, getting to what we're supposed to be talking about. I'm a bar whore. I just counted close to 100 bars in this weight room. I've been in love with bars since the first time I grabbed one. So if we don't have a bar, I'm getting it. And if it doesn't exist, I'm gonna figure out how to make it exist. With this bar, before I get into it, I know one of the first questions that we're gonna be asked is what is the difference between the Swiss press bar and what we currently call the MultiGrip Swiss bar. The difference between the two is the multi-press Swiss bar is designed after a log or a log press. It's also, we interchangeably call it an Econo log. So the bar is a little wider to provide the instability to be able to work the forearm flexors and extensors and the wrist stability that's going to be needed for that overhead work that you're going to need with the log. What we found with that bar, once we got in our gym, is the last thing that we were going to do with it is log press. So we started using it for everything we could possibly imagine and found it was an awesome bar and still is an awesome bar to overhead press with, to bench press with, do tricep extensions with, to do pretty much every exercise with that you can imagine. The only thing that I kind of didn't like about it is actually one of the benefits about it, and that is that it is a little wider, so it's working the stabilizers a little harder. I wanted to have something that complemented the bar, but didn't really replace the bar. So the first thing I wanted to do with the press bar was to shorten the width. I wanted to bring the width down closer to what you're going to find with the dumbbell. I don't want that instability, or in other words, I don't want to work my forearm flexors and extensors with this bar. I just want to press. If I want to work the stabilizers and have something that's probably a little bit more functional, then I'm going to go with the Econo log or the multi-press bar. This wasn't created for that reason. This was created for something else. This was created exclusively just really for bench pressing. And so with that in mind, I wanted to bring it in so it was more stable. The second thing I wanted to do is, over the past couple of years, I've read several studies that your triceps work harder with a fatter grip and your pecs work harder with a narrower grip. Now, as everybody knows with studies, for every study that says one thing, there's another one that's going to say the complete opposite. I don't care. I kind of like the idea and said, well, if we're going to put 3 grips on this thing, let's make the middle one fatter and then make the wider one more narrow, because the wider the grip, the more pec work you're going to have, and the closer to the grip, the more tricep work. So right or wrong seemed cool to me, and it worked out. So we do have the closer grip is wider and the wide grip is more narrow for that reason. I also wanted to set these grips up based upon the 3 most popular grips people bench with. Those 3 grips, if you had a Texas power bar, are going to be pinky on the smooth, or just pinky right close to the smooth. The next one's going to be a thumb away from the smooth. And then the last one's going to be middle finger on the smooth. That's the exact same placements we put these handles. So if you're used to pressing here, if there is such a thing as carryover between this bar and a bench press, which who knows, because it hasn't been available till now. If there is, well, then I'm going to make sure that the grips basically line up. It also helps as well, because if you have a hard time training with middle finger on the rings, when you bench, if you strain your pecs or it's too hard on your shoulders, you're going to know that this is a grip that you just don't want to mess with. We had open space, so we figured we'd just throw in angled handles for tricep extensions. So basically, The closer grip will allow, you know, the extensions here and extensions here. So you have two different angles for the tricep extensions. The fatter grips are the narrow grips here, and then it goes out to the thinner grips here. And what I like about the thinner grips is having a beat up shoulder. I do notice a difference when I use a neutral grip compared to a prone grip. When I use a prone grip, it bothers my shoulders more. If I use a neutral grip, this really doesn't bother my shoulders at all. I have to load is what's going to bother my shoulders with this bar, the heavier I go, not the actual movement. With the bench press, with prone grip, it bothers it regardless of where I am.